keynote speaker this afternoon. Katie Curran O'Malley was born in Baltimore, where she lives. Katie and her entire family has spent much of her life and her career serving the state of Maryland. Over 30 years, Katie has served the public as a judge of the District Court of Maryland for Baltimore. As a judge, she was a District Court of Maryland for Baltimore City for 20 years, an assistant state attorney for Baltimore County for 10 years. Additionally, she was an early and tireless advocate for marriage equality here in Maryland and equal rights for the LGBTQ+ community. Katie went to college at Towson University and to law school at the University of Baltimore. While attending law school, she met fellow law student and future governor Nock O'Malley, and they got married in 1990. They have 4 children: Grace, Todd, Jack, and William, who I went to college with. It is my pleasure to introduce an amazing person who truly cared about the Eastern Shore, Katie Curran O'Malley.
Very sweet. Thanks so much. Well, it's truly a pleasure to be back here on the shore. I was actually at 11761 Somerset a few months back during the primary. Because during the primary, I would do these Zooms, like many of us would do, to all the other central committees across the state. And I remember speaking to the president of the central committee in Somerset, and he said, "You're probably never going to come to Somerset, are you? Or Princess Anne?" And I said, "No, I promise you I will." And I did. And I have to tell you, the one thing I'm so proud about with our Democratic candidates now running in the general is that, especially Wes Moore, he is going everywhere. He's not focusing just on the Baltimore metro area, where there's a good number of votes. Prince George's County, where there's probably the #1 highest amount of votes, or Montgomery County. He wants everyone in our great state to know that no one's going to be left behind like he has on his signs. And that's why I was excited when Jared called and said, "Will you come to the shore to help motivate Democratic voters to get out and to really make sure that," and I spoke with you back when I was in Somerset, to make sure we continue this, because it is scary listening to Todd and Michelle. I mean, our legislature is cameras, making sure that we are not having the police not being accountable for the laws, just as we all have to be accountable. And Todd's right, we have to get the legalization of marijuana passed. I talked to my 91-year-old father about this. He said, "I'm not voting for that." And I said, "Dad," because again, he's one of the most liberal people I've ever met in my life. He's the longest serving Attorney General in Maryland. Voted for civil rights when I was a kid in the 60s, and our house got picketed. I said, "Why aren't you voting for the legalization of marijuana?" And he said, "Because it's a gateway drug." And I said, "It is most certainly not a gateway drug. It's not great to have your kids smoke marijuana every single day, and it's not great to have any adult do that every single day, just like it's not great to drink alcohol every single day." I said, "But by legalizing marijuana, not only because of the issues that Todd talked about, we can do so much more when it comes to expunging records of individuals who have convictions so that they have a clean slate, but we can also get rid of so much of the violence that is associated I cannot tell you how it would break my heart to sign warrants that police would bring to me for a basis of a murder. And the warrant all began with a story of some young person purchasing marijuana or some young person selling marijuana and getting robbed and murdered, vice versa, back and forth. So many people died over the illegal sale of marijuana in my city, and I've seen it in Baltimore County. And I'm certain it's all around the state. So by taking that out of the realm, the large amounts of product and the large amounts of money associated with it, we will save lives. But I said to him, "You're right, we don't want people constantly smoking marijuana. It's something we have to look into." And the legislature made sure that they put that into this recreational marijuana bill, that there will be studies on the effects of how it affects the elderly, like me, I'm 60, so how it affects the 60-year-old plus brain, how it affects the teenage brain, how it affects mothers who are pregnant, how it could affect their children. So that people, just like with alcohol, will get the information that they need. But again, it's still important for the reasons that Todd brought up, that we can equalize criminal justice when it comes to black and brown people who were disproportionately prosecuted for possession of marijuana. When white kids in the county were smoking it, everybody turned their head. So we'll bring part of the criminal justice reform and at the same time help promote safer communities so that there isn't a violence that's associated with it. So there's so many issues that are on the ballot now in our state. I'm so happy that we have a governor candidate, Wes Moore, who is making an effort to go all across Maryland, to come to Pocomoke City. I saw that on Facebook last week. You know, he's inspired me. I'm not a candidate, but I'm certainly working hard to get Anthony Brown elected, to get Brooke Learman elected, and to go up to different counties. I've been in Howard County, Cecil County, Carroll County, Baltimore County, to make sure that we get as many Democrats as elected as possible. There's so much at stake. And especially because of these midterms, who knows what's going to happen in 2024? I'm worried about it, and I'm sure everybody else is. We can't have Donald Trump come back. You know, we need to have leaders in our state and in our national government who celebrate July the 4th, not January the 6th. And Dan Cox was on January the 6th at the Capitol. So he can't have that happen. We need to make sure we get our great Democrats here elected in the state legislatures and the county councils, and we need to make sure we get a new governor who is going to leave nobody behind and make sure that he's including our great state. I grew up in Baltimore, but every summer I would come to the shore with my parents when I was a kid, but then when I became 17, I started coming to the shore to work so that I could pay for college and then law school, and it's one of my favorite places to be. So, you know, Jared said, you know, would you come down for Saturday on the 22nd? And I said, yeah, because I love driving over the Chesapeake Bay. And a little more scary than it used to be. When I was a kid, I didn't care so much when I was 16. But now that I'm older, and I feel like, God, what if something happens? But I love going over the bay, the Kent Narrows. I love going over the Choptank. And just seeing the beauty of the shore is just such a great gift that our state has. So it is the gem of our state. It's not, you know, something that, I know everyone from the city always talks about going to the Eastern Shore because it is so full of beauty, and we need to preserve it, and that's something that I'm concerned about, seeing what's happening in Trapp with the development there. We need to make sure that we curb the development and make sure that we're not causing more congestion and doing more to harm our climate. So voting for Democrats who are into climate change and understand that it's not made up, it's science and it's real is important. And these are the types of candidates you have here on the shore. And I know that's the type of governor Wes Moore's going to be, and our Attorney General, Anthony Brown, as well as Brooke Learman. So I'm excited about it. I know Martin O'Malley, my husband, said he was coming, and he was in Easton when I got here too. So I don't know what his ETA is, but I'm again happy that I could come here and celebrate. Way back down, I'm going to be purchasing pumpkins and chrysanthemums because I was checking out all these places. If anybody has a place where you think I would have the best choice of getting pumpkins and flowers and stuff, let me know. Or if anybody has any questions. I mean, I think you don't have any questions because you know what your marching orders are. Right, Jared? Marching orders are, just as Todd and Michelle were saying, you got to get everybody involved. If anybody needs a ride to go, if anybody needs you to take their ballot and put it in the mailbox, just spread the word and get everybody out so that on November 9th, just as Todd said, we can just be so grateful for what the Eastern Shore did for our state, making it blue again. So thanks so much.